Rich Paul's stirring things up, not only with his podcast. Can Rich Paul deliver Giannis to New York? That's what we're going to discuss on the NBA Economy Show. Hi, and welcome to the NBA Economy Show, just bringing you the latest NBA news. And the news yesterday was kind of shocking. We know Giannis to New York has been in the ether 4 months since the summer. We heard rumors, and those rumors were confirmed. And all throughout through the year, it's been drip, drip, drip. With Giannis making, hinting, and trying to be coy about where he wants to be, and we know that place wants to be New York. Um, Yesterday, we heard some news, and that Giannis has may has some help. Um, Super agent Rich Paul, who became famous through LeBron James, and ever since he's developed a roster throughout sports. He is one of the most powerful agents in sports. Probably the only other agent in sports I could probably say who's had a impact like him, David Falk and Leon Rose. And, they have squashed their beef. As of last year, they sat down, they broke bread, and um, Clutch Sports and the New York Knicks are on good terms. Giannis has I told has told Milwaukee he wants to be in New York. He does not have the upper hand and leverage at this moment. But this summer that changes. But this summer his new max is not as much as his max as if he got traded now and then extended over the summer. So Giannis may want to leave early for financial reasons. If New York is ultimately where he wants to be, I think he can make it happen. But um, his representation has been talking to Milwaukee. Um, but representation is nowhere as powerful as Rich Paul. Rich Paul says something. Rich Paul puts the word out there, and it's gonna happen. Rich Paul said, "Don't touch Bronny James." Some teams had thought, "Hey, we're gonna get Bronny James, and then we're gonna try to lure LeBron to our team." Rich Paul says, "Hands off Bronny. If you take Bronny, we're not gonna deal with you anymore." That's power. And what can Rich Paul gain by getting Giannis to New York? More power. Not just a client, more power. That's just him flexing and saying, I can get my guy wherever I want, whenever I want. And if you're a college kid or you're someone who's looking to get the bag, who do you want? The guy who can get you wherever you want. So that is one way that this is kind of him making a grab for power, not toward just Giannis, but just flexing in the league of how much power he has. So, how would this work? Would this be like Rich? Like a lot of people had thought, hey, Rich Paul is going to come in, trade deadline, snatch up Giannis, and put him in a New York uniform. 10 days before the deadline. I don't think that's what this is. This is kind of lighting the fire. The, just the word being out there, this is kind of lighting a fire under Giannis' representation. Basically, if you don't get this done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to Rich Paul, and then we're gonna get this done. Not only is Rich Paul gonna get it done, he's gonna embarrass you and show how your clients really need more powerful representation. So this is a power play. Rich Paul has been in the ear of Giannis. Rich Paul has been in the ear of his brother. So, do I think Rich Paul is going to be at the deadline trying to make something happen? No. I think this is a play for this summer. Let's just go a little bit about rules with agents. So, if Giannis switched agents, he couldn't just switch agents just like that. First off, you have to think about the injury. Giannis took the words of the person diagnosing him the day of his injury, telling everybody he won't be back for 4 to 6 weeks. It looks like this year is a wash for Giannis. I don't think the Knicks should trade for Giannis at the deadline unless they're giving you a discount. They're giving you a discount, like a discount as in he's going to sit the whole year and it's worth it that he's going to sit the whole year. If they took Giannis, if they were willing to trade Giannis and took Cat and a pick and called it a day, that's what we're kind of talking about. It would be a wash. They're not going to do that. They're going to wait till the summer. So, I don't think Leon Rose is going to get scammed by the Milwaukee Bucks. One thing we know about Leon Rose, he is a shrewd businessman. He doesn't like to get hustled. We saw in the Toronto negotiations with the Utah Jazz, he wasn't willing to give up Quentin Grimes. Like, he had a line. He like set a line. He's like, we're not going over this amount. This is a fair offer. Going once, going twice. That's it. And then what did he give? He gave RJ Barrett an extension, and he literally shut the door on negotiations. This past summer, the Knicks had a negotiating window with the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 weeks. And I'm pretty sure he had a going once, a going twice moment. And he closed negotiations. I think there's a lot of writers and people on the internet who think at the deadline the Knicks are going to panic and all of a sudden give them anything they wanted on the Knicks roster. They weren't willing to do that over the summer. Leon Rose isn't going to do that now for an injured Giannis. All the talk of I seen a talk of a trade. Yossi Goslin wrote up a trade. Very respected. I really like Yossi Goslin. One day I really want to have him on my show. I'm gonna really show you that trade, and I think what it assumes is that the Knicks want Giannis a lot, not only a lot, that they're willing to like sacrifice their future, and I don't think that's something the Knicks would do. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this trade real quick. And Okay. So this is the trade Yossi Goslin on his show, The Third Apron. It's a good show. Um, had. And basically, the Knicks would give up Mikal Bridges to the Trailblazers. And the thought is the Trailblazers had a lot of interest in Mikal Bridges. And for good reason. Trailblazers have had a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries. Why not? Get Mikal Bridges, two-way. Also, a lot of people assume the Knicks are misusing him. So perhaps he can get a little bit more. But the Iron Man of the NBA, also getting Gershon Yabusele to make the price work. And basically for that, what they'll get back is Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy Grant, in one of the worst contracts in the league, that they were willing to give up for Kyle Kuzma, and Milwaukee said no. So you get one of the worst contracts in the league, but for taking one of the worst contracts in the league, you get to send the Bucks two of the swap rights and an additional pick to get what you need to the Bucks. And not only that, you're going to be sending two swaps of your own. You're going to give up Karl-Anthony Towns, who last year 25 and 13. You're going to give up two-way Miles McBride, best shooter in the league. You're going to give up Pacome Dadier, who you spent a first-round draft pick last year, for the privilege of getting Giannis Antetokounmpo, who probably should be sitting for the rest of the year, and Jeremy Grant, the worst contract in the league. I don't think this is something that the Knicks would do. This would be very un-Leon Rose-like. Leon Rose does not get hustled. Leon Rose sets his price. I couldn't see this summer that his price was this high. I don't think he's going to go higher than he was willing to pay this summer for less of Giannis, and injured at that too. This is crazy. I think not only that, what you're doing is you're one step away from being Milwaukee. The reason why Milwaukee is in the situation that they're in is because they traded away all their picks. And then not only did they trade away their picks, they traded away their swaps. So now their picks aren't theirs. That's where the Knicks would be after this trade. And not only after this trade, what happens when Giannis says, I need more? There is no more. I gave it all for you. So I don't see this trade making a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure the Bucks would do something like this, but this is not Leon Rose like. Leon Rose is about flexibility. So, how would I approach it unlike this trade? And I know people are always gonna get on me for this, but how I approach it. I'm taking Giannis out of the equation this year. Like this year, I want no parts of Giannis. I got Milwaukee right where I want them. Milwaukee has the upper hand right now this summer. That leverage goes to Giannis. Giannis basically is going to tell teams, you could be Toronto, like Toronto was with Kawhi Leonard. You can give up a whole bunch of picks for a 1-year rental. You can have me for 1 year. And for 1 year only, if you want to give up 4 picks to Milwaukee, have at it. But if New York is really where he wants to be, Say, hey, when you're done, are you done? When you're done, I'm going to New York. So at what I would do if I was Leon Rose, I would conduct business as if Giannis is a possibility this summer, but not right now. I'm going to build regardless if Giannis is here or not. If someone wants to rent him, that's fine, but we're going to build. So what am I going to do? I know Mitchell Robinson has been a great player, but Mitchell Robinson's cap hold this summer is around $25 million. You are not re-signing Mitchell Robinson this summer. You are not. He takes you out of the Giannis sweepstakes. He puts you over the second apron unless you renounce him. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to give Trailblazers Mikal Bridges because they really want Mikal Bridges, his stability. But I'm going to give them a great defender also in Herbert Jones. But what I want from them is Donovan Clingan. And I'm building as if Giannis is going to be here, fine. If Giannis wants to come, fine. But I'm going to set that center position by getting Donovan Clingan and Drew Holiday. And how I'm going to get Herbert Jones, who the Pelicans, they covet. I'm going to give them Deuce McBride. And it's a lot. It's a lot. You're going to give them a two-way player who they can build the future with. The best shooter in the league. Players who contribute to winning. Because they have they have star players. They don't have players that contribute to winning. Miles McBride. Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, don't you have two other players who are bigs who are potential stars. Adding Mitchell Robinson to that core. This puts you in a winning mindset. It puts you on the path to winning. Okay, so what happens? What does this look like after the trade is done? Well, after this trade is done, you've gotten off Mikal Bridges. So you got off Mikal Bridges. So that extension, where Mikal Bridges' extension, that additional $9 million that was going to go on your books is not in the books. You now have money to pay free agents. We're not in danger of going over the second apron anymore. This summer, we can approach Milwaukee and said, hey, I have 2 first-round picks in my hand. And I have a whole bunch of seconds. I could probably get you a third. You do not want Karl Anthony Towns. But I can trade Karl Anthony Towns, and I can get you expiring deals. We have a couple young players. We can give you that for Giannis. And basically, who's going to compete with you? Well, they may want 4 picks instead of 3. Okay. I would dare the league to find someone who would pay 4 first-round picks for rental. That's how I would do that. Basically, that's what you get. That's how you would get. That's how we get Giannis. But what if Milwaukee is still adamant? No, I'm just gonna send him for the highest bidder. Okay, we're gonna test Giannis because Giannis said he's gonna come here regardless. So he'll finish his year. You know what the Knicks can do? Trade Karl Anthony Towns for expiring deals. And then next summer, what do you have? Cap space to sign Giannis. So, I think that's how you should approach it. I don't think you should approach Giannis as the one-all be-all because that's how Milwaukee gets you. if you're desperate to make something happen. Then, yep, if we got Giannis, we have to offer him an extension. He's looking for that now. That's the reason why he wants to leave early. He wants to leave early so he can get his maximum extension. He wants his next paychecks to start at over $65 million. This is not rocket science. Like, Giannis is not coming to New York on a discount. He is not coming here to save New York on the cheap. So that's how I would handle it. So let's just talk about some of the other rumors that we've heard. So that was not the only, that has kind of been going out in the ether. But we also heard Knicks, that the Knicks and the Suns have discussed a swap of Gershon Yabusele and and Nick Richards. It's not quite clean. The Knicks could take Nick Richards as a backup. I think it's a decent deal. I don't think the Knicks are sold on one guy. I think the Knicks are probably going to do 2 deals at the deadline, and I think based on what the first deal is, will dictate what the second deal they do. So I think there's a few possibilities with the Pelicans. The deal I put out there, I don't have anything to do. I really think we need flexibility, and I think what we know about Leon Rose, he values flexibility. He's an agent. He's the one who made the Melo trade. The guy who made the Melo trade knows why the Melo trade didn't work. Because the Knicks did very little else besides get Melo. It wasn't the Melo trade that was bad. It's how they did business before the Melo trade, how they did business after the Melo trade, and they backed themselves in the corner where they couldn't improve. I know a lot of people, let me just put up this comment. And it's just today wave says, man, that's like trading a fire for a vert. Well, I think a lot of people want too much. They want a blockbuster trade. They want to put all their chips in the middle of the table. Every time the Knicks have put all their chips in the middle of the table, they've lost because you had no more chips. You got Melo and you had no more chips. I don't think the Melo trade was too much. It's just how they went about business. It was bad. The Knicks can't put all their chips in for Giannis. A 32-year-old Giannis who now has a leg issue. He's been out 4 times this year because of the leg issue. There's no way I'm going to get Giannis, and in 6 weeks from now, I'm going to have him running up and down the floor with Jalen Brunson. He needs at least a lot of rest. They need to look into what's really wrong with him. And I think if the Knicks did trade for him, it would have to be at a significant discount. That's kind of what I have for this morning. Please, tap in with NBA Economy Show. Please please subscribe. You know what I mean? I do have a Cash App link there, but likes are free. Please tap in. We're trying to get to 500, trying to get it so that we have more options for the show. But we're going to keep going live. If there's any more news with the Knicks, I'll go live. If there's any big trade in the NBA, I'm going to go live. So please tap in. That's all I have for today. And please subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.